Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this, our special meeting number 5 of 2021. I want to commence by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet, the Butchulla people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. We have in the room Councillor Sanderson, Councillor Chapman, Councillor O'Keefe, and Councillor Phil Truscott. Can we just do a roll call of who's on the line?
David Lee.
James Hance.
Paul Truscott.
Yeah.
Councillor Gale.
Yeah. And so I heard Councillor Wellings. Was Councillor Everard in there under that?
Yeah, I am,
Yep.
George.
Excellent. We have a full council then. There's no apologies.
David Lewis here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Are there any
Did
disclosures?
you get my George?
Yeah, I got yours. Yep. Thank you. Are there any disclosures of interest? No. We'll go to the only item of business, which is special item 3.1, Recycling Modernization Fund, the business case for an auxiliary MRF plant, which is the whole of the agenda, pages 2 to 19. Were there any questions for the CEO or the director?
I've got a question. It's David Lee.
Councillor Lee?
Yes, in the event that we're not successful with the Modernisation Fund grant application, what's our contingency strategy?
Yeah. I'll go to the CEO.
Yeah, I'll answer this one. So if we're unsuccessful for the funding, then our plan is just to build the MRF as a standalone unit and not build the auxiliary equipment. But if the council's of a different view, we can bring the matter back to council for consideration.
Okay, so there's a capacity to retrofit at a later stage.
Yes, there is.
And the second question I've got
Yep.
is around the glass processing manufacturing.
Yep. The director will take the technical questions. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so the question is about matching up our capacity to supply with the demand for the product with backfilling infrastructure. So how will we manage that?
Yeah, just through you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Lee, for the question. Look, at this early stage, we haven't done the detailed analysis in terms of our internal volumes and how they relate to the volumes of process sand that we're likely to get out of the plant. What I can say, though, is in some individual projects that we've undertaken this year, just in my department, we had a capital project to construct a new water main. It was the trunk water main from the McGowan Water Treatment Plant to Takura, and we used a volume of sand for that project that would consume a year's worth of production from this glass processing, based on the volumes that are reflected in that report. So there's opportunities both within my directorate, within Rose, and potentially within external markets to explore homes for the sand. But at this point in time, we haven't gone into the detail. We don't have a funding agreement in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Councillor Phil Truscott.
Yes, reading the document, I'm just checking this is correct. Obviously, it's going to cost us more in capital, but the $6 million saving that you mentioned there, that would be operational, I assume, over a period, or what?
Through you, Smith, thank you, Councillor Truscott. So the $6 million saving is actually the savings of capital expense. So really, the key message is that with the funding opportunity that we have through the Recycling and Modernisation Fund, we have the opportunity to partner with the state to construct our core move with improved processing plants, being the glass and the fibre optic, at a $6 million saving in terms of what it costs us just to construct the core move. So it's a capital saving reflected in that financial part of the report.
Director, when will the fund announcement be made? When will we have a date on which way we'll proceed if we approve of if we go down the course of thinking about this? When will we have a date? Will we go either way?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the funding application has been submitted with the caveat that we need council's endorsement of our business case. My understanding is that there's an initial EOI consideration stage that will be undertaken as part of the assessment, and then a likely decision early in 2022. I think there's still some uncertainty in terms of exactly what that time frame will be, and we're still working with the state in terms of that.
And does that do anything to the timetable we were thinking before this?
The contract we awarded was in, so it went to the June ordinary Mayor.
Yeah.
The funding opportunity came out in July.
Yeah.
So we're working with our alliance partner in terms of the implications that would have on the construction of the MRF, and particularly the eligible costs that may need to occur prior to the actual award of the grant fund.
And, but they would still be, I mean, they would still be the contractor if we went down this way? We would just alter, we would alter the contract that's already been signed?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So simply it is, the auxiliary plans were actually a consideration on the tender submission that came through in June.
Yeah.
This funding
I can see it.
simply presented us with a chance to actually undertake that work sooner than rather.
Yeah,
But it's
and
still
down the track.
Alliance contract with Cleanway in order to operate and construct that MRF.
Yeah.
I've got a follow-up question if I can, Mr
Yes,
Mayor.
yeah, Councillor Lee?
Yeah, just in regards to the fibre optics technology, it's pretty precise in terms of getting the contamination rate down to less than 1%. Are we confident that if the goalposts change in the future with respect to the 3% consumption rate, I think by 2024, that this will provide the technology to get less than 1%?
Thank you, Councillor Lee, just through you, Mr Mayor. So we have Irma on the line. I'll have a go at answering the question first, and if there's any additional information that our Executive for Waste Services can provide, certainly happy and open for him to do that. It's subject to being happy with that, Mr Mayor. But effectively, the technology for the fibre optic sorting has been in place for a long period of time, and the optical sorting is available in other material recovery facilities in Queensland that I'm aware of. It's a process that has been used previously. Our estimates are that it will be able to achieve the contamination rates reflected in the business case, but it is really subject to the quality of the recyclables that are coming into the plant as well. And so the design and the expectations in terms of those output contamination rates have been passed on to the contractor provided in their tender submission for that fibre optic, for the optical sorting for the fibre, which is effectively paper and cardboard.
So do we specify in the tender that we're looking for a contamination rate less than 1%?
No, not that specific. That's market standard, what we believe we'll need to get that secure that offtake market.
Okay,
Sorry, I can't hear any of that.
that's all right.
Sorry.
I'll repeat that.
Do you want to come up, can you come up to the microphone?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So Kate Fund is our technical officer for waste services, who's been involved with the contract procurement and also the submission for the recycling organisation.
Yeah, so the contamination rate used in the business case was provided by the equipment provider that was submitted with the tender response. And it's believed that that will meet the required standards to secure an offtake market in the future.
Councillor Chapman?
Just a question to the director. Where this site's actually going, there's going to have to be an area for stockpiling of the glass. Or have we got enough land on that site for that stockpile?
Thank you, Councillor Chapman. Just through you, Mr Mayor. So the site investigation is currently underway in terms of the footprint that will be required and where the material recovery facility will be located on the site. There'd always be a stockpiling area required even with the core MRF because it needs to be stockpiled similar to what it is currently before it's transported to another processing facility. But those investigations and the footprint required are currently underway. I
Till
believe
12:30.
the geotech engineers out earlier this week.
Well, why I asked that question, Mr Mayor, is when I went down at Victoria looking at recycling, they had some massive piles of glass when as soon as the project had come on, it'd just get trucked out.
Yeah.
So that's where we need a holding area to hold that.
Yeah, I've heard of whole warehouses full of them, of the glass, yeah.
Well, mountains.
Yeah. Any further questions for the director?
I'm happy to move it, Mr Mayor, if required.
Yeah, Councillor Everard's moving the recommendation there.
I'm happy to second.
Seconded Councillor Lee. Any speakers or questions? I just want to thank the staff for identifying this opportunity. We know in a real changing market, particularly what China is doing, that this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity and a challenge and it's something that we want to be involved in. I'm really very pleased that the staff were able to identify this funding opportunity and fit it in. The timing's worked out really, really well. Councillor Chapman?
Yes, Mr Mayor, as I stated before, we went down to Victoria to have a look at the recycling, and Victoria's a long way in front of what Queensland is at the moment. And just to see what they're actually recycling, some of these sites are 100% that they're actually, and it's just good because this glass can be used for backfilling on pipes and all sorts of different items where we use sand now.
Yeah.
So. I think it's a great step forward, and just hopefully we're successful with the funding. Thank you.
Thanks. Any further speakers?
And Mr Mayor, I'd also like to speak in support of this motion.
Councillor Lee?
I speak in support of this motion, Mr Mayor, because it's consistent with the National Waste Management Strategy, Council's 2019 to 29 Waste Management Strategy, and I'm particularly impressed with the innovative measures that are being adopted with and we've had discussions about this for a while now with the glass manufacturing and conversion to sand. Formerly we didn't think we had the critical mass, but now we do, and I think that Fraser Coast Regional Council is going to become a real leader, product leader in this space, and I'm really excited about the great work that's going on in our waste management processes, and I think we're setting ourselves really up well for the future.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Any further speakers? I'll put the motion. Moved Councillor Everard, seconded Councillor Lee. All in favour?
Aye.
Paul Truscott.
David Luke.
David Lewis.
Yeah. I just didn't hear Councillor Wellings.
Oh, sorry, I just said that.
So was that in favour? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, just to be clear, that's unanimous then? There are no,
Yes.
all opposed? Yeah, James was in there. Yeah, so no opposed? Okay, I declare that carried. I'll close the meeting at 11:12. Thank you for your attendance.